It is day 9 of the United Nations Climate Summit in Sharm El Sheik, Egypt, and focus on loss and damage payments is taking center stage of negotiations between developed and developing countries. There appears to be some pushback from the Latin America bloc, even as Africa tries to advance its cause to get commitment from its European partners. Already, there has been a lot of pressure on the developed countries to accept that they have done so much in terms of industrialization, which have negatively affected developing countries through climate impact. Now, for more perspective on this, I am being joined by the Executive Director, Environmental Rights Action, Friends of the Earth Nigeria, Chima Williams. Good to have you join us.
Thank you very much, my sister. Great to be with you.
Talk to us about these deliberations on the issue of loss and damage finance and why it is so important for Africa.
Well, I think historically, looking at the issue of loss and damages, which is a cliche that entered into the COP lexicon since last year, 2021, the African leaders think that loss and damages, which is the demand for payment of compensation for those irreversible losses that are occasioned by climate change impact, which will lead to financial provisions for infrastructural development, is something that will be good for African and African continents. And this is why I think the leaders are campaigning heavily about it and have made it a central theme of their demand for COP27 that is happening on African soil.
And now we're getting reports that rich countries are against loss and damage funds. Earlier, there was a commitment to pay at least $100 billion a year to emerging economies who are most impacted by climate change. But why do you think now that there is a change in that direction?
Yes, this is the worry that some of us are expressing here, that our government's demands on loss and damages, the right demands, because who sets the standards? Who analyzes what is lost and damaged? Who analyzes the amount of compensation to be paid? Who pays it? And given the fact that from even the first major COP that set standards till when we started seeing those standards being eroded from Copenhagen and a different kind of standards being set by Paris Accord, which led to nations setting down their nationally determined contributions. Up till now, the financing promises, what has been made out of it, what has been paid, and what proportion of that amount has gotten to Africa and to Africans. So what makes our leaders think that it's going to be a different kettle of tea, by the time they demand for and get commitments on loss and damages? It will still be the same issue all over. And I think, as an environmentalist, African leaders are not making the right demands, honestly. African leaders should be thoughtful to think of what are the root causes what are the actions, inactions, the activities that, exacerbates the incident of climate change? Africa contributes little to the issues that leads. For instance, the issue of greenhouse gas emissions. What is the African proportional contribution? But Africans, benefit more than any other in terms of the impact. And we've seen it happening, even as we speak now, many communities in Africa.
So basically,
because
Africa needs to change critically, look at its demands critically, and then change what it is asking for. I wish we could discuss the move by African leaders to develop forces as well, but my time is up. Thank you so much for talking to us. Executive Director, Environmental Rights Action, Friends of the Earth Nigeria, Chima Williams.